So there's a story in Smart Money, Smart Kids, the book my dad and I wrote, and it's gotten a lot of attention. I usually tell this story when I'm out speaking to parents, and so I thought it was something fun that maybe I would share with you guys, and maybe you parents out there can take this idea to your kids. So mom and dad, when they parented us, they really tried to strike this balance between like crazy, protective, live in a bubble type of kids where you don't make any decisions and everything's just right here together, to the parents that are like, oh, fly, little 8-year-old, fly and be free. Discipline is a thing of the past. Okay, so like the two extremes, mom and dad tried to find this middle ground. And they did so by using an analogy of a rope growing up. So the idea was that we were tied to one end of the rope and they had the other end. And depending upon how well we could make decisions, how competent we were in life, you know, how trustworthy we were, they would essentially let the rope out and we could have more and more freedom to make more and more of our own decisions. I remember being in like 7th grade and going to the movies with friends, and we left the movie theater to go get ice cream across the street, and my mom couldn't find me when she was coming to pick me up, and so it was this whole ordeal. And I remember dad telling me, Rachel, we're going to have to pull the rope back in because you didn't make a great decision. You didn't call us before, and so we didn't know where you were. And then a few years later, I was at a party with some adult beverages, and I knew if I got caught, my life would be over. So I called my mom and went home, and mom looked at me, you know, when I got home, and she said, lots of rope, Rachel. You get lots of rope. Good decision. So this rope was a constant in our house, and when my older sister Denise was moving away from home to go to college, dad pulled out a gift bag toward the end of the dinner, and he pulled this out of it. A rope. He tied these different ribbons around the rope, symbolizing different areas of her life. So for instance, white was her purity, orange was because she was going to the University of Tennessee, go Vols. Purple was her spiritual walk, red was her academics, and yellow was if she ever needed to come home. He just gave her this sweet speech, you know, the farewell dad speech of how proud he was of her and how now they trust her because they've been giving her a little bit of a rope at a time. And the rope they have left in their hands doesn't reach from Nashville to Knoxville where she was going to school. And so now her day-to-day decisions were up to her. And so dad handed Denise the rope. And of course, we all just like cried and we're like, Denise has the rope and she's never coming home again. But it was a really cool picture for me. And so now as an adult, I look at the rope really as a blessing in my life, that I had parents who were not perfect, but were intentional with us. So I just want that to be a little bit of encouragement to you parents out there. Maybe you can tie in this metaphor of a rope as you're raising kids for them to get the picture of getting more and more responsibility handed to them. That way they can start feeling the weight of their decisions. So there's the rope story for all of you who've been asking. Hope it was as great as you thought it was going to be.